Ed Reardon's Week by Christopher Douglas and Andrew Nickolls. Episode 3, The Last Laugh.
Monday. An invaluable aide-memoire to the modern diarist is his bank statement. It enables him to track his movements, which might otherwise be lost to posterity. For example, the 25th of last month sees me visiting a cash dispenser in Aylesbury. The word at the swimming pool was that the link machine at the local cost cutter was faulty and issuing £20 notes instead of tens. By the time I arrived, hair and beard still wet, the fault had been rectified, and what's more, according to my bank statement, I was charged an extra £1.50 for drawing out 10. So, cost cutter proving something of a misnomer, and tipping the Reardon finances once more into the abyss. Look, I realise I'm overdrawn at the moment, but I'm due a payment for my latest book, Postal Panoply, Sceptred Isle Publications. The thing is that the cheque might not arrive before the monthly mortgage payment is taken out of my account on Wednesday. Oh, look, is there someone older I can speak to? Well, someone who might be able to explain this logical inconsistency in your banking system, which is that you appear to be falling over yourselves to lend money to people who don't need it, whereas those of us who do are told that they have insufficient funds passing through their current account. A situation which I think you'll agree is at best... Hello? 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 No, gone. Look, Elgar, if you don't want to finish that porridge, that's it. There's nothing else. No, I've had enough of this. Let's Google these publisher cowboys. Sceptred Isle asbestos piping. Sceptred Isle pest control. Sceptred Isle publishing. Where are they? Oh dear, how's Daddy going to get there? Excuse me, is this Sceptred Isle publishing?
Mr. Reardon!
Hello, Lee.
What brings you to Unit 16, my friend?
Yes, not exactly Bloomsbury, is it?
Oh, I don't know. We've got Wolf Security Systems at Unit 12. Suppose you come for your money.
Yes, Lee, I have. I've delivered the manuscript on time, actually a day early.
Yeah, you see, that caught us on the hop a bit, pal. Look, stick this in the back of the Merc, and then we'll have a chat.
What have you got in here?
Duchess of Cornwall's recipe book.
What's it called? Cooking with a fag on the go?
Good title for the sequel if this one does the business. Right, come into the office. Here.
Oh, thank you.
Thing is, Ed, you haven't given us the photo we need for the inside back flap.
Oh, is that really necessary? I sent you my author biography.
Yeah, but a picture tells 1,000 words. Or 3,000 words in your case. What do you want to give us all that stuff for? We had to sub it right down, look.
Ed Reardon lives with a neurotic cat and fights a losing battle with his garden in Suffolk. Number one, I don't live in Suffolk or have a garden.
Yeah, we got that biog set up on a grid. It works for all our other authors.
And there's nothing wrong with my cat. Elgar's just hungry. Found him licking a brick this morning.
Well, there you are then. There isn't a writer in the country with the same cat. Point is, Ed, until we get your author picture, you haven't fulfilled your part of the contract. Strictly speaking.
Well, look, what about this? Can't you scan this in, or whatever it is you do? It's my swimming pool membership.
Surprised they let you in looking like that. No. I mean, obviously a book about stamps, you'll get a few perverts reading it, but you don't want to stick one on the cover as well.
So you're not going to give me my publication fee until I give you a new photo?
Yeah. Put a nice shirt on, get your picture taken, and then we'll see about getting you your 600 quid.
Right.
Want another beer?
No. Actually, yes. Tuesday. The going rate in the High Street for a photography session is a prohibitive £200. That includes a singles supplement for not standing with a fat bride on my arm, or 2 jug-eared children in mortarboards grinning grotesquely either side of me in front of a nausea-inducing blue background. But in these consumer-dominated days, one has to shop around. And I was able to track down a competitively priced little place tucked away in the shopping centre. Right, insert 3 times £1 coins. Now what do I do?
Raise or lower the seat so your eyes are level with the white line.
Oh, right. I'm doing that. I didn't know whether to wear the old school tie or not.
Please choose your background.
Yes, well, I went to Shrewsbury, as you can see from the tie, so I'm not going to try and hide that, because it is a royal book.
Do you want fun pics?
What do you mean?
To choose your fun pics, press 1, 2 or 3.
Why can't they just say pictures? Fun pics. There you are. 1. So, please wait 5 minutes, turned into please wait 10 minutes, and eventually, down the chute contraption comes a strip of 4 photographs, still wet, of me with my eyes closed. and next to me, apparently hugging me, is that man who calls himself Ali G. The one who's on television.
And pretends to be black. How original's that?
Very, very funny.
That's funny as The Office.
Smack the pony.
Shoot the bloody pony. Do us all a favour.
And then there's the fast show.
Please.
Someone
I'm a lady.
explain to me what's funny about that, please. I'd be very grateful.
Scorchio.
The Writers' Guild, AGM, always provides a forum for cheery shop talk and fine wine, or at least the fine wine of good conversation. And the story of my photograph and the wasted £3 went down well with Clive Smith and Terry Savage, arguably by them anyway, the most successful comedy writing duo of the last 25 years.
You know what you should do, Ed?
What's that, Clive?
Sit down over there, write that idea on the back of the agenda and pitch it to the bead. Call it...
Photo me. Different character being photographed every week. Just develop it a bit.
Yes, that's funny. And someone different waiting outside for him.
Oh, yeah.
Or her. Could be Pat Routledge.
Comedy cleaner with a mop and bucket. No, in a wheelchair.
Talking Heads meets, well, could be anything. They all got wheelchairs in these days.
I'm sorry, Terry, but that's the worst idea I've ever heard.
Oh, no. We've written worse than that.
Yeah, you'll never get that stain out, comes to mind. Or last orders, please.
Oh, yes. Couple running a pub. Warren Clark as Fred Last and... Pauline Quirk as Rita Please.
Yeah. 3 series.
Yes, that was absolute rubbish.
Won the BAFTA, thank you very much.
And nominated twice, Terry, 92, 94.
Oh, hello, Andy.
And let's not forget the Golden Bear of Banff.
Ed, have you met Andy Pond? He's doing a book about us.
A bit like Boswell's Life of Johnson. Only with tit gags.
Can't wait to reserve it in the library.
I can't wait for him to finish. Then he'll stop ringing us up every day asking what happened in 1971.
I promise I won't do that again, Clive. We're on to 1972 now. That's my Sir James laugh there. I can do Tommy Cooper as well.
Oh, that's uncanny. One can almost see the fares.
You're Ed Reardon. You were script associate on that last but one series of the Frankie Howard show, weren't you? Did you have to write all the oohs and ahs in?
Well, we didn't get as far as discussing semantics. He didn't like any of the material.
I suppose it wasn't the smartest move giving him "shut that door" as a catchphrase. No wonder you were the only writer in television history Frank never chased around the dressing room.
It doesn't get much more desperate than that.
You ought to be getting this down on paper, Ed. There's a show in it.
Yeah, the best comedy's always about losers.
Yes, so he's called Des Parrott. Desperate, you see. Comedy writer who never makes anyone laugh.
Yes, go on, Ed. Go over there and write it down.
Yeah, you can have it for nothing.
No, thank you. You can have it for nothing.
Oh, can I have it for nothing too, matron?
Andy Pond was one of the new breed of so-called writers who never actually put creative pen to paper, or even original finger to keyboard, but make their living instead off the achievements of others, rather like those African birds who travel around on the back of rhinoceroses all day for nothing. But I didn't come away from the AGM completely empty-handed. The much-derided anorak really comes into its own on these occasions. 8 pockets, 4 with zips, can contain enough squashed sandwiches, nuts and miniature sausage rolls to keep a writer and his cat fed for a whole week, plus enough cress to provide the recommended daily intake of greens. Satisfying as the plunder was, I reflected as I sat in Russell Square on a bench dedicated to Jim who loved this place, and finishing my pocket of crisps, that I still didn't have a photograph to go on the dust jacket of postal panoply, or at least one that didn't make me look like a child molester. So I had no option but to importune my 12-year-old agent.
Ed, I'm really, really busy, yeah?
I just need you to take a snap of me with your digital camera.
Oh, it's at home packed in my suitcase. I'm going skiing tomorrow. I couldn't take a shot of you looking like that anyway. Your beard's all full of crisps. What's that coming out of your top pocket?
That's Parsley, thought so.
Have you been drinking?
No, just overeating a bit. Look, Ping, you couldn't lend me £8.50 to get home, could you?
I'm not allowed to do that anymore. The accounts department got really arsey last time. But look, you can borrow my car for the week while I'm away.
Oh, Ping.
I mean, you have got a clean licence, yeah?
My dear, it's not only clean. Until recently, it hadn't been used for 3 years. Legal reasons.
Oh, that's great.
I say, Ping, all these photos of you on the notice board. Where'd you get them done? They're very good of you.
Oh, thanks. I get sent one every time I park my car in a bus lane. I mean, duh, there usually isn't even a bus there.
Still, there's a remarkable likeness. Parking in a bus lane, you say? Isn't there a fine for that? £30 or something?
Oh, no, it's loads more than that. £100 a pop.
Glad to see my 10% commission goes to a good cause.
Oh, I don't pay them. I couldn't afford to go skiing if I did that. That just doesn't make economic sense, Ed.
So, Ping, before you go and hurl yourself down the mountain, how long do we normally leave between the fees coming into us and our paying the clients? Is it 2 months or 3?
Felix.
Oh, hello, Ed. Yeah, I deduce from the cheese and onion aroma surrounding you that you recently attended, would it be the Writers' Guild Jamboree?
That's incredible, Felix. How did you...
Elementary, my dear Reardon. Actually, I just had Clive Smith on the blower chasing his residuals or something sordid, and he said he just bumped into you at the annual gathering of resentful scribblers.
Oh, I love Clive and Terry Savage. They're such nice guys, yeah?
There's a school of thought that says they can afford to be.
Well, you know what, Ed? They're both happily married in their 50s, but never once has either of them ever tried to hit on me. Ever.
Well, they're just saints, aren't they?
And they're certainly the most successful writers this agency has ever represented. And you know why they've stayed together, Ed? Because they've never once fallen out over money. 50-50 all the way.
We just have to wait 3 months to get it.
Yeah, well...
Oh, and they're brilliant, as well as successful and nice. And quite cute, actually. Can you think of anyone better?
Well, no, not if you want programmes you can safely repeat during the day and the school holidays. They're the writers for you.
Hello, do I see the green eye of the little yellow god?
No. That's parsley.
Oh.
Excuse me, mate.
What is it?
What do you think you're doing?
What do you mean?
You parked in a bus lane.
Oh, so I am.
Do you mind moving, please? You're holding my bus up.
Certainly. I'll just try one laughing. And one for luck.
If a session with a professional photographer costs upwards of £200 and the Metropolitan Police camera results in a £100 fine, then Red Ken of the London Assembly outperforms Claude of the Parade every time. As the 12-year-olds say, you do the math.
OK, now do you mind moving on?
No, not at all. Tell me. I'll just do the left profile. Do you miss the old route masters? I know I would.
No, not really.
Oh, you surprise me. I'll do the right profile. You surely can't prefer those long, bendy monstrosities with 3 doors. An open invitation to passenger fraud, I'd have thought. How many can they hold?
49 seated, 93 standing. That's 142. And right now, they're all getting very irate.
Right. Point taken. I'll move. Oh, I like all your badges, by the way. I bet there's a story behind every one of them.
There is, actually. This one.
Wednesday. No doubt Smith and Savage, not to mention their comedy catamite Andy Pond, would have stretched the incident in the bus lane into a 26-episode series, plus a Christmas special shot in Florida, in the Greyhound bus lane. But I was happy enough with my afternoon's work, and more fruits of my labours were to follow, as I was able to use my experience as a writing exercise for this week's evening class, Secrets of Sitcom.
So, how might this situation in the bus lane develop?
Dunno. Not very funny, is it?
It's antisocial is what it is. Very good example to teenagers watching.
Well, we're not interested in morality tonight. We're in the business of creating laughter. Now, let's think. Maybe I don't pay the fine and I go to prison.
They did that in Porridge. You'll have to think of something else. Did you see Little Britain last night? Oh. The one in the wheelchair, I love him.
Yeah, no.
I don't want that one. I want that one.
You know who I am. I'm the only gay in Buckinghamshire.
Yes, but that's more undergraduate review sort of humour, isn't it? Not technically speaking sitcom.
won the BAFTA, didn't it?
How many have you won lately?
I'm thinking more of comedy in the classic tradition, like Hancock and Steptoe and Son.
Oh, that stain will never come out now. That was a good one. Smith and Savage, isn't it?
You know, you can always rely on those two for a good belly laugh. Doesn't matter how down you are. If you've lost your wife, like I did. I bought the box set of Last Orders, please, and I'm not kidding. It gave me back my will to live.
Oh, how odd. It had the reverse effect on me.
I'm surprised they find time to create masterpieces with all the charity work they do.
Well, they certainly look very well on it.
It just proves that the most contented people are those who think about others.
Is that your Punto parked in the disabled space out there?
Yes.
Typical.
Right, let's have a break. Back in, what should we say, half an hour?
Come along, Emily. Charlotte, let's go and get a cup of ladies' tea with biscuits for ladies.
We're just two ladies.
Thursday. Once again, my utter professionalism has been my undoing. In posing for my author photograph for Postal Panoply while parked illegally in a bus lane near enough to the CCTV camera to provide a good close-up, I naturally endeavoured to create the right bookish impression. Unfortunately, the shot the Philistines at the fixed penalty office chose to print up and send me clearly showed Ping's registration number, but not, alas, the distinguished features of the driver, whose face was totally obscured by pipe smoke.
There you are, play with that. The most expensive paper ball in history. I bet even Martin Amis's cat hasn't got one of these. Oh, well caught! Oh dear. This isn't getting us our Postal Panoply money, is it? You carry on doing that, while Daddy goes down to the police station.
And don't forget the washing up liquid, Paul. Can you get the eco-over? Might as well be kind to the planet.
Right you are, Sarge.
Sorry to keep you, Mr. Reardon. Just a bit of housekeeping. We haven't got any work for you today, I'm afraid.
No, I haven't come to do an identity parade.
Bit of a miscreant lull just now. Could be the cold weather. Though that doesn't always guarantee Phil the Flasher keeping his trousers on.
Well, if there is a hiatus, that could work to my advantage. You see, I need, rather urgently, an author photograph taken to go on the dust jacket of my latest book.
Oh, yes. What's this one about, then? More pets of the famous?
No, it's a history of the royal stamp collection. So.
Ooh!
Anyway, I was wondering if the police photographer...
Ned? What? You're thinking of getting him to take a picture of you for your book?
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to pay him straight away, that's the only thing, but perhaps I could put in a few extra ID parades for nothing.
Oh, I'm sure a copy of your book would be more than adequate. Bit strapped at the moment, are we, Mr. R?
Well, end of the month, you know, mortgage due any time now.
Oof, tell me about it. You know, people think police houses are free. Not anymore. Not like in my father's day, or my uncle's. All next door to each other, odd numbers. 3, 5, 7 and 9 Rycroft Avenue. Oh, no, I tell a lie. 5, 7, 9 and 11.
Yeah, since you don't appear to be very busy, perhaps you could take the photograph of me quickly. You see, I really do need this money.
Oh, well, I couldn't tread on Ned's toes. Demarcation. But he should be in any time now, so why don't you nip up to the canteen, get yourself a cup of tea.
All right.
And I'll ring and tell him you're coming so you don't get charged the full rate.
That's very considerate.
That's what we're here for. It's not all shooting people on the tube by mistake.
Ned, the police photographer, did eventually appear and took my photo, but not before I'd been forced to sit through a particularly insufferable episode of Last Orders, Please on the canteen television. The one where Fred Last tries to take the pub up market and holds a wine tasting. Nevertheless, I was rewarded by a selection of digital mugshots, both with and without numbers underneath, which I was able to email to my publishers from the station's incident room.
No, Elgar, no more. I really must check online to see if the bank bounced the mortgage payment and charged me £30 for their trouble. Password, Balzac 3. Come on, Broadman. Make it a quick death at least. What's the damage? No, still 49,000 in there. 49,000?
A phone call to the agency quickly established that the £49,000 was Clive Smith's half share of the royalties for the DVD of Last Orders, Please, mistakenly paid into my account by a somewhat harassed and pingless Felix. To have earned that amount of money myself, I would have had to write not just one book about the royal stamp collections, but 42. Or I could have chosen the easier option of writing 250 radio plays, or made life cushier yet by standing in line at 4,900 identity parades, posing as the entire criminal population of London and the home counties.
So, what should we do with this £49,000 windfall, Elgar? Go on the holiday of a lifetime? Become space tourists? Fancy that? No. I know. Let's have a little bit of fun.
Terry Savage.
Hello, matey. Ed Reardon.
Oh, hello, Ed. How you doing?
I'm just feeling a bit guilty about what I said at the Writers' Guild the other day.
What did you say? I can't remember what you said.
I just think I was very rude about Last Orders, Please. I saw the wine tasting episode today. What a cracker.
Really? Did we do a wine tasting one?
Yes, brilliant. Where Fred Last spits the wine out into the vicar's teacup and he trips and pours it all down the au pair's front just as Rita walks in. and then he tries to wipe it off. It's a classic.
You winded me up, Reardon.
And then you tag the scene with the zinger, 1 lump or 2, vicar. Brilliant.
It was 2 lumps or 1, actually. Yeah, that was mine.
Doesn't matter whose it was great, mate.
Yeah, and we finally got paid for it today.
Ah, that's another really funny thing. The agency sent me Clive's half of the money by mistake.
I'd keep it if I were you, he doesn't need it.
51 grand, I wish I could. I tell you, the whole office falls apart when Ping isn't there. Between you and me, I think she's got the hots for Clive.
How much did you say?
51 grand. The same as you must have received.
Oh, yeah.
But you deserve it, mate. Muzzle toff. Anyway, don't want to keep you. I'm sure you've got things to do. I just wanted to say well done.
Yeah, thanks.
And listen, Terry. Keep writing. Yes? Really? 1 lump or 2.
2 lumps or 1.
How long do you reckon, Elgar? Couple of hours? End of the day? Oh, he must be suffering. Yeah.
You did say 51 grand, didn't you?
51, that's right. Hope I haven't put my foot in it.
Ed, thank you so much. That's extremely honourable of you to return the 49,000 so quickly.
No, I couldn't very well keep it.
No, you couldn't. It must have happened because of this utter chaos Ping's left me with. She really is hopeless. Anyway, thanks for ringing, Ed.
I'm sitting in front of you, Felix.
Are you? So you are. I just can't see you behind this mountain of paperwork. Look, there are checks, bills, invoices. I mean, these things just arrive.
Yes, that's the post, Felix.
Is it? Hopeless girl. She can ski down this lot when she gets back, on top of which I'm having to cope with possibly the biggest catastrophe in the history of light entertainment.
The BBC asked for another series of Last Orders, Please.
That's just the thing. There won't be one. Smith and Savage have split up.
Really? Oh, how did this happen?
Oh, it's all got to do with money. It's so sordid. Terry thought Clive was getting more than him, and this brought out all sorts of other simmering resentments that have been building up for 30 years.
What sort of things?
Oh, the way Clive always had an apple in the afternoon, and how Terry never finished a cigarette. Tiny, trivial things, but before you know it, there are fisticuffs in the patisserie, and I've got the newspapers on the telephone every 5 minutes. Have you seen the Standard?
You're barred. That's quite clever. Oh, yes, they were having a scrap, weren't they? More pictures, pages 4, 5, 6 and 7. Can I keep this?
Now I hear Clive's wife sent him packing because Terry told her there was a bit of how's your father occurring with Ping.
Oh, that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, completely. And all because of money.
Yes, talking of which, Felix, Septodile Books have sworn on their mother's grave that they paid you my £600 delivery money.
Well, it might have come in. It might have gone out again, too.
So you've sent it to me?
No, I threw a whole lot of, post out. Yesterday it was appalling. You couldn't move in here.
Hello, my darlings.
Oh, just what I need.
Charlie Drake, 1961. What do you think?
Murderous as my feelings towards Felix were, he didn't deserve to have his office further polluted by Andy Pond, Smith and Savage's biographer and leading expert on that cruelest form of cultural Stalinism, generally known as light entertainment.
Ed, Heard the news about the boys?
Yes, I'm sure they'll make it up.
Oh, I hope not. It's a great last chapter of my book. Closing time. Thank you all. Why are you going through the wastepaper basket, Ed? Looking for a punchline?
No, I'm looking for a cheque, actually.
Well, you might find a couple of Hungarians. Or maybe a Greek. What's he then? Oh, get him coming. Hey, you should take me on, Felix, you know? Now you've got a gap in your client list.
Why not post him your CV?
Yes, do that. I'll give it my undivided attention.
Nice to CV you, nice.
Friday. My search through Felix's in-tray that occupied the whole of his desk, the floor, and the space behind the radiator proved as redundant as an Andy Pond one-liner. But the divinities that shape our ends must have purchased a super saver to Berkhamsted. A melancholy look at my online bank account revealed that I had suddenly been pre-approved for an overdraft to the tune of £2,500. Partly to find out why, but mostly because I enjoy saying the word, I rang the bank to establish on exactly what grounds I had been pre-approved.
You like me being pre-approved, don't you, Elgar? You know what? It's because I had a high turnover last month, apparently. £49,000.
The overdraft facility meant that I wouldn't have to prostitute my talent by writing non-books for at least another 2 months. Honesty, in the end, had proved to be the best policy. I also like to think I'd done the British viewing public a good turn, protecting them from any new Smith and Savage ordeals by comedy in the future. Although I couldn't, unfortunately, do anything about the repeats.
Ah, morning, postman.
There's excess to pay on this.
What? Well, let me see what it is first. Septodile books. Ah, it's postal panoply.
It's £5 is what it is, and if I don't get it, it has to come out of my own pocket. That's the rule.
Such a pity that all people seem to think about these days is getting paid.
What's the matter?
It seems that despite the considerable lengths I went to supplying an author photograph for the dust jacket, the publishers, in their wisdom, have decided to reproduce a circular stamp that George V acquired on his visit to the Isle of Man.
It's the lack of stamps that I'm interested in.
Well, why don't you accompany me to the cash point and the newsagents downstairs, and I'll give you your £5.
That's a link machine, you know. They charge you £1.50.
Oh, so what? It's only money.
Ed Reardon's Week starred Christopher Douglas, with Stephanie Cole, John Fortune, Matthew Holness, Tom Colebrook, Martin Hyder, Andy Hamilton, Rita May, Geoffrey McGivern, Barunka O'Shaughnessy, Dan Tetsell, Sally Grace, and Geoffrey Whitehead. It was written by Christopher Douglas and Andrew Nickolls. The producer was Simon Nicholls.